Hi, my name is Aprino Excel. Today, I will be sharing on why government regulation of fast food is essential to combat obesity, particularly in Malaysia. Let's begin with the context. Obesity is a growing global health crisis fueled by lifestyle changes, socioeconomic factors, and the widespread availability of cheap, calorie-dense but nutrient-poor fast food. In Malaysia, fast food is consumed by over half the adult population weekly, as shown by the Malaysian Adult Nutrition Survey. Aggressive advertising, convenience, and affordability have made fast food a norm, especially in urban areas. Now, let me walk you through the main body of my sharing, which consists of three important parts. The first one, the role of fast food in obesity. Second one, the effectiveness of government interventions. And the last one, the third one, the ethical concerns surrounding regulations. Fast food plays a central role in obesity crisis. These meals are typically high in calories, sugars, unsaturated fat, and sodium, but low in essential nutrients. Consuming such food regularly disrupts our body's metabolic system and leads to excess weight gain. A 2022 study by Pote, Braga and Chin shows a clear link between daily fast food consumption and increased BMI and metabolic disorder among adults. In Malaysia, data from the NHMS 2023 also reveals that urban areas with more fast food outlets shows a higher rate of obesity. This shows how our modern lifestyle and city living make it even easier to fall into the trap of unhealthy eating habits. But it is not just the food itself, it is also how it is advertised. Fast food chains aggressively target children and adults using flashy visual, celebrity, and digital ads to normalize unhealthy eating habits. These advertisements are not just persuasive, they are persistent. Even health-conscious individuals find it difficult to avoid them because of how deeply embedded they are in social media algorithm and public spaces. In other words, the environment we live in encourage fast food consumption. When personal choices is shaped by profit-driven advertising and limited options, regulation becomes not just helpful but necessary. Now, let's look at how government actions can make a real difference. One powerful example is the sugar tax implemented in Mexico in 2014. Within just 2 years, sweetened beverage purchases dropped by almost 8%, which is 7.6%, especially among lower income groups. This shows how financial policies can guide people toward better choices, especially when health and affordability are aligned. Another effective intervention was in New York City, where laws required calorie labels in fast food chains. A study by Krieger and colleagues in 2020 found that when people could clearly see how many calories were in each item, many reduced their intake, especially at fast food restaurants. In United Kingdom, junk food advertisements targeting children were banned during children's programming. As reported by Boylan and Tetlow Golden in 2021, this led to a significant drops in children's exposure to unhealthy food marketing. Less exposure means less temptation, and ultimately, healthier habits being formed at young age. Beyond taxes and advertising laws, public education campaigns also play a major role. For instance, Australia Lifeline campaign combined a shocking visual with community engagement to raise awareness about obesity risks. What we learn from this example is When regulation is combined with education, the impact is stronger, more lasting, and more ethical. But of course, government regulation comes with ethical concerns. Some critics argue that too much regulation creates a nanny state, a situation where governments control people's personal choices, as noted by Gostin and Wiley. Overly paternalistic laws can actually backfire, creating resistance from the public and reducing the credibility of health campaigns. We also have to consider social inequality. Fast food is often cheap, accessible, and convenient, especially for low-income communities. Research by Drinovsky and Echeldorfer highlights that healthier food is often more expensive, making fast food the only realistic option for some. If regulations only increase the price of fast food without increasing access to healthy alternatives, we risk punishing the poor instead of helping them. In measure, we also need to account for urban-rural differences, cultural food practices, and religious dietary needs. Regulation should not just restrict unhealthy options, but also expand healthy ones. This can be done through subsidies for local produce, support for wet markets, and community-level nutrition education. Most importantly, regulation should empower people, not punish them. For example, instead of just banning something, we can encourage food companies to maybe reformulate their products, provide incentive for healthier menus, and maybe support community kitchens in low-income neighborhoods. By framing regulation as a supportive tool, not a controlling force, we strike a balance between health promotion and individual freedom. In conclusion, regulating fast food is not about limiting freedom. It is about protecting public health. With rising obesity rates linked to fast food, smart and ethical government policies are needed to shift behavior, reshape food environment, and ensure fairness, especially for vulnerable communities. If done right, such regulation can promote long-term health without sacrificing autonomy. Living a good life does not only rely on exercise or maybe good sleeping quality, but also your healthy eating habit. Remember, moderate is good, but less is better. Think about living as an elderly but still look like 20s. Surely others will feel jealous and might as well inspire others. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.